Welcome to Movement and Function. I'm Beth Wagner. In today's video, I'm going to show you my favorite exercises for hip and knee osteoarthritis. These exercises will be great for you if you've been dealing with arthritis in either your knee, one or the other knee, or one or both of your hips, or all of the above. And the reason I'm doing one video for both joint areas is because, well, they're connected. It can be very helpful for you if you're dealing with arthritis in either or both of the areas to incorporate exercises that strengthen and stretch the entire low extremity. You'll get a lot more pain relief and a lot more benefit out of a more well-rounded exercise program. Okay, before we get into the exercises, I just want to mention a couple of key things to help you manage your osteoarthritis. Besides movement, things like hydration, sleep, breathing, stress management are all really key lifestyle components, and they're important for overall health and well-being. Osteoarthritis is an inflammatory condition. So the more you can do to help decrease inflammation throughout your entire system, the better your joints will respond in the areas that are affected by arthritis. If you're curious what foods to eat and what foods to avoid in order to help your arthritis, a quick Google search on anti-inflammatory foods will bring up a ton of resources. I did this a few years back and found some really amazing articles that came up really quickly. The thing is that nutritional information changes very quickly. And so rather than me show you what I found last year or last week, it's really best to do a timely search on your own. See how that information that you find online matches your current diet, and see what ways you might try modifying your diet to decrease the inflammation in your body. Let's go ahead and get into the exercises. Number one is knee extension and flexion. You could do this exercise sitting on the edge of the bed or on a chair, possibly even on the couch. It's okay if your feet are dangling like mine are. It's also fine to do this where your feet are flat on the ground. Either way is great. So you want to first tighten the muscle on the top of your knee and lift your foot up, pause, lower, and then bring your heel back behind you as far as you can. Pause and continue. Extend, lower, and flex. Bend your knee behind you and relax. Shoot for 15 repetitions on one side and then repeat on the other side. Extend, straighten your knee, slowly lower, flex. Bend your knee behind you and slowly lower. All right. Shoot for 2 sets of that exercise on both legs, alternating right, left, left. All right, exercise number 2 is focused more on the hip, but it also works the knee a bit as well. This is a Piriformis and figure 4 stretch. We'll start by bringing one leg so that your ankle crosses over the other knee. Slowly, gently press down on your inner thigh so that your knee lowers down toward the surface. Pause there, and then lift the knee up so that it's coming toward your opposite shoulder. You can use one or both hands to help here. Pause, and then lower. If this exercise feels nice for you, you can add a longer hold here. Pause in these positions for 5 to 20 seconds or so before you come back up into the other position. Alternate those 2 stretches or those 2 positions a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, based on what feels more comfortable for you and how long you feel comfortable holding the stretch. Overall, we want to work each side for about a minute or so, and then lower that leg and repeat on the other side. If you find that you're too stiff in either your knee or your hip to actually cross your ankle over the other knee, you can modify this one. Just bring your foot up as far as you can. Hold your leg and lower it down and lift up. Lower it down and lift up. See what feels best for you in terms of a starting point, and then progress as your body responds well to the exercise. The next exercise is sit to stand. Oftentimes with hip and knee osteoarthritis, standing up out of chairs, especially low chairs, can be difficult. So practicing this with repetition is a great way to strengthen the legs as well as help you get used to getting up out of a chair, to make it easier for you to get on and off the toilet, in and out of a car, stand up from low seats, etc. Start this exercise sitting in a comfortable chair, something really sturdy. This could be the edge of your bed or a dining room chair, something like that. Step one is to scoot to the edge of the surface. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor, about hips distance apart, and underneath you. You don't want your feet way out front. You want your heels back underneath you. We're gonna lean forward, nose over your toes, and stand up. Keep your nose over your toes, reach your hips back, reach so that your fingertips can touch the surface, and then go ahead and sit down. And we'll repeat that. So scoot to the edge, feet flat, heels underneath you, nose over your toes, and stand up. And then hips back, nose still over the toes, and sit down. As you get stronger and stronger with this, try not using your hands. You can place them just in your lap, or you can reach them forward and stand on up. The key again, nose over your toes, reach your hips back, and sit. Nose over your toes, come forward and stand. As you feel more and more comfortable, try doing this from lower and lower surfaces. The next exercise is hip abduction standing up. Stand next to a countertop or a wall, something sturdy for support when you're doing this. Starting this exercise, working the right leg, I'll shift my weight to the left leg, lift my right leg up, pause, and lower. Lift and lower. Shoot for 15 repetitions and then switch legs. You can also try this exercise alternating left and right. You could do this standing in front of your kitchen counter right here. That works well. And lift, lower, lift the other leg and lower. Or do all one set of 15 on one side and then switch to the other side. You'll notice that feels a little bit different. There are actually benefits to doing it both ways. The next exercise is a hip flexion with extension. Standing next to something for support and balance again. Working the right leg, I'm going to bring my knee up, pause, lower it down, and then lift my leg up behind me. Pause and lower. Lift up, pause, lower. Lift back, pause, and lower. Definitely keep doing the same side, all 15 repetitions, or however many repetitions you can start with, and then switch legs. With this one, there's definitely a benefit to doing the repetitions in a row on one leg before switching. So give that a try. All right, the next exercise is a calf and hip flexor stretch. So from the side here, standing next to a countertop or wall for support, I'll step 1 foot forward and step 1 foot back. And then bend the forward knee into a little bit of a lunge. What we're shooting for here is to feel a stretch in the back of the right lower leg, the back calf, and the front of the right hip. Keep your right heel on the ground and stand up really tall. Try and shift your right hip forward as far as you can. This is about as far as forward as I can go. And I feel a nice stretch both in my calf and in the front of the hip. If you're not feeling it in both places at once, just keep playing with this. It takes a little bit of time to find the right position to feel it in both places. Okay, the last exercise is a 3-way lunge. This exercise is really great at working the muscles that help to perform lateral movements and rotational movements. Starting with the left leg, I'm going to lunge forward, pause, come back to the center. Then I'll lunge at about a 45-degree angle and come back to the center, and then lunge out to the side. And pause, come back to the center. With each of these positions, notice my toe is pointing in the direction I'm lunging. So let's look at that again. Forward, My foot is pointed forward, 45-degree angle. My toes are pointed at an angle and out to the side. My toes are pointed out to the side. In this side position, I'm getting a nice opening through my hips and some nice rotation through my hips. Okay, and back to the center. Finally, what I recommend for folks with knee and hip arthritis is a consistent cardio program that includes a variety of different exercises. Things such as walking, cycling, and swimming. It's great to shoot for 15 to 30 minutes a day, most days per week. 5 or 6 days is great, but typically if you shoot for daily exercise, and then if you miss a day or two, you're still getting your 5 to 6 days a week in. It's nice to incorporate those 3 things. Walking is great because it's the easiest to do, and it's the most functional exercise to do. Biking is great because it offers less joint compression, and it offers great range of motion for the knee and for the hip. And finally, swimming's great because it has the least amount of joint compression, and it also is great cardiovascular conditioning and offers a bit of range of motion through your knee and your hip. Not quite as much as cycling, but still some. So if you were to shoot for 2 days a week of each of those types of cardiovascular exercise, you would have a well-rounded, complete exercise program. I hope you found these exercises and information helpful for you to manage your arthritis and to decrease joint pain, as well as to help you do the things that you love to do every single day. I'll be curious to see your comments and read your questions, so please be sure to post those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, and it's always great to see a thumbs up. Feel free to share this video with anybody you know who might benefit from the contents. And if you'd like to be notified when I release my next one, click the bell next to the subscribe button. Here's to your healing, health, and happiness. Have a wonderful day.